New analysis about Social Security reveals some shocking updated data as to when we might see insolvency, as well as what are some of the options to solve it. I've got that and what it means for your planning. That more coming up. I don't know if you stay up to date on all the latest news regarding Social Security, insolvency, what the projections are. I don't know if you're fully up to date. For me, I stay in tune. It's almost like the background actors in your favorite show. You know that they're there. I'm just not watching their every move. That is how I feel about Social Security. I know we are on the path towards insolvency. I know that. I also am fairly up to speed on what some of the mechanisms are that they're going to likely employ to try to fix it. But it's not something where I'm watching every single move because I know they're going to solve it. Okay, we'll talk about that here in a little bit. I know there's going to be a patch for it. I know no one's going to like the patch, right? It's going to come with some pain. There's going to be higher taxes. It's going to be delayed Social Security. It's going to cause some friction. And I do know that this uncertainty likely impacts your planning, but it doesn't seem like there's the political will right now to actually solve it. So to me, I'm aware of the issue and I'm, paying attention to updates, but I'm not focusing on every move. Well, the Social Security hasn't come up with their latest analysis. That's likely to come out in just a few months. But the Penn Wharton School just came up with a what I thought, very helpful analysis on where Social Security stands right now on the path towards insolvency, and 3 really big changes, takeaways that I found in this analysis. Number 1, and guys, this is the big one. If you've seen the headlines, this is gonna shock you, that the insolvency date in this report from Penn Wharton is moved up to 2032. Their report shows it moved up 2 years from the latest report from the Social Security Administration, where they were saying we're on path to be insolvent by 2034. This Penn Wharton analysis is now saying 2032. That's like tomorrow. That's like next year. The insolvency date has moved up significantly from their analysis. It'll be interesting to see whether the analysis by the Social Security Administration will reveal the same thing. But what's shocking is that their analysis is coming up with this data, and we haven't seen, unemployment spike or a big recession. Those are some things that tend to lead to, less revenue going into, less FICA taxes, so less revenue going into Social Security. And yet we haven't seen that happen, and yet their analysis is showing that insolvency is by 2032, just a few years away. The second update that I found surprising in the report and in the analysis is what the reduction is likely to be in your Social Security. So here's the thing, let's get this out of the way, that oftentimes when people hear the word insolvency, they think, well, Social Security goes broke and Social Security checks stop. Yeah, it's broke, but the checks don't stop. They just reduce. They're reduced to match the level of the existing funding. You know that paying into Social Security system, you do that through your FICA taxes, and your company matches that through payroll taxes. You don't see it. So FICA taxes, 7.65%. 6.2 of the 7.65 is what goes into Social Security, and it's that 6.2 up to a certain wage limit, okay? So 185,000 change this year. So you pay that 6.2, your employer also pays that 6.2 up to those wages, and so that's what goes into funding the Social Security. When we reach insolvency, again, now 2032, the current benefits, or the benefits that are paid out of Social Security, will drop to whatever the funding level is. And this analysis showed something more detailed than I've seen from any other analysis before. Be careful here, because if you look at the headlines, they're saying there's a lot of noise out there, but I've always rounded and said, yeah, it's likely you'd see a 20% decline in your Social Security if we reach insolvency. Well, the analysis is showing that actually the current funding level is 83%. So that'd be a 17% reduction in Social Security benefits if we go insolvent. But the report further goes on and says, no, that's going to continue to steepen. That benefit, that payout percentage is going to continue to decline out for several years. And at the end of their analysis, the funding level was going to be in the 60-some%. So benefits would drop by 36% and only pay out 64% of what the benefit should be. That was surprising news to me that it continued to decline and that steep. And as opposed to just a generic, 20% decline. I've seen some articles out there that says the report was saying a 28% decline is what's expected. No, it'd be starting around 17%, but then getting worse over time. And then the third surprise or noteworthy item from the analysis was the options that this analysis from Penn Wharton, what the options were that they explored to shore up or avoid insolvency or remove the risk of insolvency. So you can see the different options that they analyzed and compared to where we are right now. And option A is increasing the amount of tax that we pay. So again, 6.2 that you pay out of your FICA, plus your company is paying 6.2, so that's 12.4. So first option is, well, that's increased to 13.4. So presumably your FICA tax would increase by 0.5%. The payroll tax your company pays would increase by 0.5%. That's that top line. The second one is the taxable maximum. So increasing the Social Security wage base is another variable that they change. Introducing a donut hole. So basically creating a gap in Social Security. Benefit provision. So changing the cost of living adjustment, the CPI, the PIA factors. This is how your Social Security is actually calculated, so changing that, and then changing the full retirement age. Typically, as I've read the previous analysis directly from the Social Security Administration and from think tanks connected to Social Security, I haven't seen all of these options laid out. Typically, it's been raising the retirement age, raising taxes. And the last one that I saw, again, I'm not watching every single move here that has been made, but I saw that they were really kicking around a 2% increase in FICA tax. So 1% increase in your FICA tax, 1% increase in the payroll tax. And I heard that that was going to push insolvency way out there down the road. And instead, in this analysis, they're just looking at these 5 different options. Now, unfortunately, the analysis didn't end with, all right, well, here's the clear recommendation. This is clearly the next step. This is what will solve Social Security. It didn't end with that. In fact, the Penn Wharton budget model says, no, we're just trying to evaluate options so that the decision makers are more equipped. Their model suggests that if there are drastic cuts to Social Security, that people will be incentivized to save more. And from an overall economic standpoint, their modeling actually suggests that that would be the best thing for the economy. Don't know if politicians would like that. I don't know if consumers would like that. The least aggressive option in here doesn't go, sort of kicks the can down the road, doesn't really create a big solve. It's more so just a patch. And the analysis is that, yeah, I wonder if some middle of the road option is what will be chosen. But they're not going so far as to say, well, this is the clear recommendation as to how to solve Social Security. And so yeah, there's really no great conclusion from this analysis. So what does this mean for you then? So what, if there isn't a conclusion here, if there aren't tangible takeaways on exactly what Social Security, what the fix is going to be, what does this mean for you? Number one, you should stress test your retirement plan as if we're going to see insolvency. Adjust your Social Security number to a 17% decline, so 83% of what your normal benefit would be, just to see. I wouldn't build that in as the base expectation in your plan because we believe they will actually solve insolvency, maybe kick the can down the road. It's just the least likely scenario that by 2032, they won't do anything and we're going to reach insolvency. It's possible. It's not probable, but I would still, just for your own peace of mind and so that you can plan ahead, I would have that as a trade-off, as an adjustment that you make in your plan so that you can stress test. Well, what does my plan look like if Social Security drops to 83% funding level, or what we've been doing is if it drops to an 80% funding level, just so you can see, well, what would we need to do? Like run the fire drill. That's number one. Number two, though, and this is where it's going to involve more discussion with your certified financial planner, and that is start preparing for what some of those potential solutions could mean for you. Solving Social Security isn't going to be a painless solution, okay? It's not going to be a painless issue. There's going to be either increases in the wage base for Social Security, increases in FICA taxes, delays to Social Security, potentially cuts to the amount of increases or cost of living adjustments that you'd see from Social Security. So Factor that into your planning and into your work with your certified financial planner. Is your financial life so close to the edge that if we did see an increase in Social Security taxes or FICA taxes, that's going to throw your take-home pay for a loop, or it's going to throw your budget off? I'd start having that discussion. When you're planning on Social Security, if you're currently looking and saying, well, cost of living adjustment for Social Security over a long time has been 3 to 4%. That's what we've got built into the plan. Now I would consider, well, what if it's 1%? What if it's 2%? What does your plan look like then? And if you're thinking, well, I'm going to take my Social Security right at 62, and I know the projection of what that's going to mean. Well, if they move the full retirement age to 69, like some of these models suggest, that could mean the 62 age is actually even further reduced. And so therefore I would update your plan. I would do some of that stress testing so that you can do that fire drill to say, well, if this happens, then how would I adjust? How would I react? What adjustments do we need to make in our plan today? Because we still don't know. Insolvency got moved up. It became a little bit more urgent. It's unlikely Congress will act to do anything until it is right on the doorstep and it's last minute, which is a shame. But I would model that out with your certified financial planner. Of course, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned to this channel, because as we do get updates from the Social Security Administration with their analysis, we'll provide those highlights and what it means for you right here. Otherwise, work with your certified financial planner to build out those stress tests and prepare ahead for whatever the changes are that we're going to see with Social Security. Work with your CFP on that. If you don't have a CFP on your team, you can contact one on my team. Find us online, Korhorn.com. That's Korhorn with K. WiseMoneyShow.com. You can find us there as well, or give us a call, 574-247-5898. All right, there you have it. Go out and take your next wise step in your financial life.